Hey, what's up? This is Brett Monastery with DJ Mining Entertainment, and in this video, I'm going to tell you why you need to invest more, if not the most of your budget, into a wedding DJ. Hey, what's going on? This is Brent here with DJ Mining Entertainment. I want to tell you why it's so important to invest the most of your money into a wedding DJ as opposed to your other vendors. So let me explain to you what goes on behind the scenes of a mobile DJ and how that high quality DJ is going to ensure your event is very successful and memorable and fun and not a complete disaster. I would say probably the biggest thing that where you're going to notice where your DJ is going to stand out more than anywhere else when it comes to your wedding is going to be the reception. Obviously so. From introducing the wedding party all the way to the last dance of the night, you're going to be asking yourself this question the whole entire time, all the way up until your event. Well, how's this going to work out? Well, think about all the stresses that you accrue through planning the entirety of your wedding all the way up until the day of your wedding. Well, my job, along with any other really good high quality DJ's job, is to ensure to alleviate as much of that stress as possible on the day of your event. And this is how that works. So after this video, hopefully you will have a better understanding and you're going to think a little bit more about hiring a DJ for your event. Here's what happens. We introduce the wedding party. After the ceremony, ceremonies are pretty traditional. Typically, we've done hundreds of them. We're used to it. We know how ceremonies work. If there are any other exceptions or anything different that's going to be happening with a ceremony, well, you can talk to your DJ about that during the consultation or during your meetings before the wedding. But other than that, on the day of your wedding, when it comes to your reception, this is where the DJ is going to really be able to facilitate the significance of events all throughout the night, from the start of the night all the way to the very last song that's to be played. So here's what this looks like. I introduce the wedding party. Now, for me personally, I like to get the crowd hyped up and kind of do this kind of ring announcer style attention getter kind of thing that I like to do. Don't want to give it away. And there's one of two different things on how a bride and groom or wedding couple wants to tackle this as far as their first dance. You can either walk right into your first dance or you can do your first dance after the toast. It can go either way. Now, sometimes when you have spacing limitations to where the dance floor is, there might be tables, then in that case, you wait until after the toast and then people can move the tables out of the way. Once everybody's done with dinner, you can get on the dance floor and we can do all the formal dances. But after that, once the wedding party is introduced and then the bride and groom are introduced, the bride and groom and then the wedding party, followed by the parents and grandparents, are going to go to the buffet unless dinner is to be served. After that, after a significant amount of time for everybody to have a chance to eat, at that time, usually the best man and the maid of honor are going to make a toast. Now, keep this in mind. Granted that we will give you the option, such as leaving an open mic for anybody to make a toast. But the downside to that is that, well, it's very, very time consuming because people like to talk. So what I usually recommend is leave it up to the best man and maid of honor to make the toast, or the wedding couple wants to say something. Obviously, they can do anything they want to. And that's going to cut down on time, and you don't have to worry about spending an hour listening to people talk on the mic. Because the situation I've run into before is that probably 45 minutes went by with people making toast, and then somebody felt left out. They came up to me. They didn't get a chance to speak on the mic, and they had to get their turn to come up and actually say something to the wedding couple. On the flip side of that, when it's only left up to the best man and the maid or matron of honor, then people can't really feel that way and can't really feel left out because it's pretty traditional for best man and maid of honor to make those toasts. Along with that being said, when it comes to proposing the toast, a high quality DJ is going to ensure that, depending on what you wanted during the consultation, if you wanted champagne to be poured or if you just wanted what was in your glass. Now, if you just wanted what was in your glass, no big deal. It's pretty easy. But if you wanted champagne, then a good DJ is going to talk to the vendor, talk to the caterers, and make sure that they're out there pouring the champagne. And I've never had a problem with caterers. They're usually pretty on top of it when everybody gets done eating, and they're really good about that. But it's always good for DJs to be able to work with those and communicate with those vendors and make sure that everything is going to run smooth. Another really good tag team partner for a mobile DJ is a photographer and videographer. And the reason for that is because I'm talking to those folks to make sure that they know and they understand either I'm going to talk to them or they're going to come up and they're going to ask me to let them know these are the events that are coming up soon, so that way they can be ready for the formal dances, the bouquet toss, any anniversary dance or shoe game, so that way they can be there to take pictures and video. I'm also going to communicate with the videographer, especially during the ceremony. But the reason videographers are also important is because they're going to obviously take video of your ceremony, and it's going to be professional, and they can do all the editing and make it look nice and smooth. Videographers also communicate with DJs. I've had videographers that come up to me and say, hey, can I plug their transmitting device into my speakers so that way they can pick up the sound from what the officiant and the wedding couple is saying over the microphones, and you can capture that in the video. So that way you don't go back and watch your video and you can't really hear anything that you're saying. That's something that not a lot of people really think about when it comes to hiring videographers and them also working with the DJs. So that's why it's important to invest money into all of those: videographer, photographer, and a mobile DJ, because all three of us can tag team, really work together really well. So that way when you go back and watch your videos and you go and look at your photos, and 20 years down the road, you've been married for so long, and you can look back and look through your pictures and your videos and think to yourself, this was such a wonderful, memorable event, all because you put the money in the essential vendors that it needed to be in, such as the great trio, the DJ, the photographer, and the videographer. And of course, I can continue to carry on other things that I will do, such as things that may seem kind of minuscule, like getting up on the mic and saying, hey, look, we're going to have the formal dances coming up here in the next few minutes. So I want to make sure anybody that's not in here to get back in here as soon as they can. We're going to have the wedding couple make their exclusive debut out on the dance floor very soon. So just want to give everybody a heads up. Well, see, that's important. That's why you want to invest money into your DJ, because you want your DJ to be very mindful and cognizant of the fact that I'm the guy with the microphone. I'm the master of ceremonies along with playing the music as well. So that's pretty important. Wouldn't you want your DJ to be able to speak up and say, hey, this is what's coming up, so everybody knows? Now, if you cheap out on your DJ, I can't quite guarantee you that that's going to happen. The other thing too is, alongside that, is going and meeting the parents and meeting the mother of the groom and the father of the bride to make sure that they're ready for whenever it's their turn to come up and father bride dance and mother groom dance as well. And let's also talk about the cutting of the cake. Something as simple as making sure that there's a knife on the table for the cutting of the cake, because when it comes time to cut the cake, if the bride and groom walk up to the table and there's no knife, well, who are you going to thank for that? You're probably going to think of the person who's in charge of the cake. You're not really going to think of the DJ for that. But with the DJ that's making the announcements that it's time to cut the cake, wouldn't it be helpful if I walk up, go to the cake table, make sure there's a utensil for you to cut the cake, and if there's not, then I can take care of it. Because trust me, I've had to do it before. With all that being said, all you have to do is sit back, relax, enjoy your time with your friends and family, and you don't have to worry about stressing over anything. I'm not just a mobile DJ, I'm also a wedding facilitator. I'm the one with the microphone. Everybody's going to hear what I have to say. So it's pretty much my job to make sure that your wedding has a very smooth flow and transition of events. That's why it's so important to invest your money into your DJ. That's why DJ is so important. The DJ is the one who's really going to put in the most work during the day of your event, the day of your wedding dance. Now, photographers and videographers have a lot of work to do post-wedding, after the wedding, the editing and the cropping and all that kind of stuff of the pictures that they took. So there's a lot of work that goes on between all three of us. And last thing is this: not only am I a wedding DJ, not only am I going to communicate with the other vendors, such as the caterers, the photographer, the videographer, making sure there's a knife for the cake, making sure the parents are ready for the formal dances, making sure that everything runs very smoothly. But I'm also kind of a little bit of an alternate wedding planner, because with the experience that I've had in weddings, I can also help you somewhat kind of plan your wedding through my own personal experience. Now, granted that you do need to invest in a wedding planner specifically to help you plan for your wedding, but it never hurts to get extra insight from a mobile DJ or even photographers and videographers, so that way you can have the perfect wedding day and the perfect wedding dance. So 20, 30 years down the road, when you look back and look through your pictures and your videos, you know that you made the right choice because you watched a video like this, you prepared for your wedding very well, you invested the money into your DJ, your photographer, videographer, wedding planner, had the right venue, and cut those costs and some of the things that are just not as essential for your wedding, and you can remember how perfect your wedding was. I'm Brett Montestaire with DJ Monty Entertainment. Take care, and I'll see you on the other side.